Hey there cats, good time of the day to you and thank you for tuning in to my channel. This here I'm playing a game named SturmFront the Mutant War, a little gem I found on Steam, and without further ado, let's get into it. We have to start on medium difficulty level since hard is locked for the first playthrough. Let's do it! Awaken, taintless one. Strife and ruin are calling to you like lustful sirens. Is this not your desire? To march into a war unbidden, to shame every atrocity thus far committed. In the end, your will is of no consequence. Your purpose has been ordained and you are a slave to your destiny, just like the rest. Welcome, Siegfried. Well, I suppose you might call me your father. It doesn't matter. You won't understand what you are, and it is better this way. The human race stands at the precipice and stares into the abyss of extinction. A plague has taken over our world, a cancerous growth that twists everything it touches. It is anathema to all life, but not you, Siegfried. It cannot take hold of you. You are the key, my son. Go forth and do what you were born to do. Kill them, Siegfried. Kill them all. Don't stop just because they look dead. Every organic cell on this planet wants to kill you. Alright, now, forgive me, but I have to understand the controls. This is literally my first time playing this game, so I do not quite understand what to press so far. So I get to practice it a bit. Alright. Here is, as far as I can see, is the practice area. So, damn it. Alright. Here's the button for the flamethrower, and alright, I can work with this. Good enough. All flesh becomes like clay under the grip of the mutation. They use the bodies of the dead to form flesh tunnels, wild tracts that force passengers inside through themselves like excrement. Conventional weaponry simply has no effect, there is too much meat. It's almost as if we were helpless against this rampant growth, this cancer of humanity. There is but one solution: fire. The gift of Prometheus to his children is the key to eliminating the mutation's symptoms, if not the root. All flesh must burn. Mode 001. Greeting. I welcome you, warrior. I am BRH-STM unit. My functions are interrogation and torture. I specialize in the application of pain and exercise of humiliation. I possess a perfect anatomical knowledge of the male human body and know how to trigger every single nerve end. Mode 034. Motherhood. Siegfried, I have been instructed to act as a surrogate mother to you. I am equipped with a fully functional replica of a female human body. If you desire to sate your thirst for milk, you are permitted to call upon this function of mine. Mode 000. Satisfaction. Is it that time again, Heartmoth? My, you are truly insatiable. Come now, let me console you. Error. Incorrect user detected. Program aborted. By the way, that binary line above the error is also error. It is ASCII coded into binary. Should I do this? Right? Yeah. Well, I can only hope that I'm getting better with the microphone video by video, but so far I can say I'm relatively bad with it. I can only hope I will eventually master this art of talking with my microphone. So far it is not perfect, so yeah, pardon me. Pardon me. Alright, another PC. No, it's 3 out of 3. Let's found the second one first. I believe I saw it right here. Wait, 2 out of 3. There should be the first one as well somewhere. Oh yeah, this one looks like the one. 5th of January 1984. There is something terribly wrong with the enemy soldiers. They are not entirely human. Their bodies twist and contort and split and recombine. It makes no sense, and my hands shake uncontrollably when I just think about it. It is almost like that horrible time in 1917 when Earth was besieged. The red Beelzebub took to the stars and vanished in the dark sky. My brave Valkyr, bless her, killed the alien queen and destroyed their ghosts. The invaders toppled over and seemed to die in a series of pain convulsions, lifeless by all accounts, but their corpses did not decay or cease living. Is there such a thing as a soul? And if so, can the flesh continue living without one? I'm a scientist, for God's sake. I should not be discussing metaphysics and philosophy, and yet I cannot help but wonder. Siegfried von Hammerstein, the perfect war machine to combat the cancerous mutation. He is part organic and part machine, but the true beauty of his is that his flesh is not like ours or like theirs. It has no DNA, no genes to speak of. It follows no pattern. I had to delicately shape it with my own hands, like wax. And like wax, any wound on it will remain forever because the flesh does not know what shape to reconstruct itself to. But this is a small sacrifice to make. In turn, Siegfried is immune to the alien disease that lives inside of their flesh and guides them. The virus attached to DNA strands and plays them like a string puppet, but Siegfried cannot be touched by the cancer. Neither could a machine, one might say, but the key difference is that a machine cannot feel hate. And it is not enough to simplify the mutant. One must hate it. One must not see it as a duty to fight. It must be a wish, a desire, a need. Siegfried lives and breathes hate for the flesh. Siegfried is war. So we are kind of bio-cyborg, something like that. Bio-robot. I like it. Brunhild, how long have you been gone? I remember the day of your final flight like yesterday. You were my Valkyr, my pale goddess who showed me how to live and how to love. The cosmos could not best you, but a mere sickness took you from me. I feel so lonely on this earth without you. I took to work like a madman to fill the hole in my heart, but nothing could replace my desire for you. Even then, they took my greatest achievement from me and perverted my human manufacturing. They turned it into a breeding pit for war and violence. Now it is a festering den of mutation and disease. So, this is the fruit of my life's work, the undoing of all life on Earth, or at least the acceleration thereof. I have done my best to atone, dearest. I have created one last thing with the manufactory, one final hope for this wretched world. As for me, I am beyond hope. I cannot stand the failure and the loneliness anymore. Brunhild, I long to be at your side again. Embrace me now. Embrace me. I remember Mannheim, respectable and progressive, a place where diligent craftsmen once plied their trade. Now only whores and thieves frequent these grimy streets. When the new state's armies became burdensome, Mannheim was stripped of its virtues and thrown to the dogs. An entire city sold into prostitution, unconsenting. Every filthy alley and every stinking brothel must be purged. So here we are. Alright, yeah, I'm less or more, less or more understanding the controls already. This is gonna be cool. I can only hope you will enjoy it as much as I do, because boy, do I love games like this. Oh, come get some. Yeah, that's a fine start. What's this? Rocket launcher. Nice. They are everywhere in Mannheim. Horse. Beautiful, tempting, dangerous. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, a carnal rhythm that plays as a prelude to the vulgar pleasures that they promise. Their painted lips curve into a fake smile, and their dark eyes pierce deep into my soul. I feel so clumsy in their presence. When they speak to me, my words remain stuck in my throat. I know I blush, reek of inexperience, but she doesn't care. She takes my hand and leads me up the stairs. I stare at her inappropriate skirt. She knows. I'm terrified. But it is not the fear that drives me. I cannot quite understand what must I do in order to get rid of breathing into the microphone, in order not to breathe into the microphone, yet record all my speech properly. Yeah, I'm not quite sure so far. I'm working on it. As of this game, I've already the first thing I've done is checked all the concept arts, and yeah, this is one of the rare games where concept arts are unlocked from the very start. You don't have to play through the game in order to unlock them. So I've checked through all of them, and in a moment I will tell you about them. Yesterday I killed for the first time. Not in self-defense, I murdered. A gag in the mouth stifled her screams. A cut through her stomach opened the doorway for corruption to spill out. I did it slowly, watched her squirm, watched the tears well up in her eyes and mix with her makeup. I couldn't help myself and did the deed with only one hand. But her guts, they were not what I expected. A green ooze and malformed, less describable things, it makes me retch even now. She was dead and yet her flesh kept on pulsing. It wasn't right. Nothing is right anymore. They are not like us. So, said concept arts, they were packed with developers' commentary, and it is amazing. All the stuff he puts into his game, all this, all his thoughts behind it. I really liked reading it all, and I've also enjoyed several things which were about to make it in the game but never made it after all. One of them is a level with vehicle, some kind of a battle wagon. Oh, another skull. Alright, let's read it and then I'll go on. I sold my car. Don't need it anymore. Don't need nothing no more. Horses are expensive, but I pay them gladly. Killing is priceless. I want nothing else in my life. Each of them stays with me. When I sleep, I see their faces, dominant, furious. They scold me like my aunt always did. I hated her, but Dad did nothing. Of course, caught in her web, but I don't cry no more. I scream back. I stab her and wake up. Humankind should be thankful. Women are parasites. Yeah, so the vehicular level was the one thing that didn't make it into the game. And the other thing I really miss is the multiplayer. According to the sprite sheet, there was 2 more players, at least 2 more playable characters to be planned, and I assume it was up to 3 players in one game. It was like, damn it. Oh, haven't spoke English for a while. Now look at me, right. So, yeah, I assume it was planned to make this game to be playable for up to 3 players simultaneously, or at least there were 3 characters. Unfortunately, we are only left with 1, and third things first, it was planned to, you know, for every character to have his specific weapon. This was changed. Now Siegfried can carry all the weapons that exist in the game. And yeah, no multiplayer, unfortunately. I barred the door. I can hear them scratching at the other side. They howl in the streets below like banshees at a cemetery. It makes my skin crawl. Something in the corner of my eye, the window! The goddamn window! They must have scaled the wall somehow! I can't stop them anymore. I brandish my knife and slash and stab wildly around myself, wounding flesh with every stroke. My body is soon awash with blood and other things, but they won't stay down. The horse keep crawling towards me, grasping me, groping me. Why are their faces so familiar? I close my eyes and keep cutting and biting. No mercy, no chance. They force me down and overwhelm me. The last thing I see is the face of my aunt, large as the moon, descending upon me and forcing her rotten tongue into my mouth while her second head forces itself upon the rest of my body. The most merciful thing in the world that ever happened to me was that I died choking on my own puke that night. So yeah, unfortunately multiplayer is not the thing. After all, albeit I'd say it would be just the thing which would make this game perfect. An ability to play together with a friend or with 2 friends. Yeah, that would be amazing. If there ever will be SturmFront 2, I wish multiplayer won't be abandoned. And of course vehicular level would be nice, of course, yeah, it's secondary. Vehicular level would be nice, but not necessary, and multiplayer, local multiplayer, well, for an arcade shoot-em-up game like this, it's almost, should be a given, you know? It's almost like undeniable feature. But yeah, I can understand the developer of this game, after all, it is another game which was pretty much from start to finish made by one man, except for the music and some artwork. All the sprites, all the programming, it is a one-man job. And so yeah, I can understand, I can understand perfectly why not everything he wanted to do eventually made it into the game, into the final version. After all, it is extremely hard to do stuff like this all alone. Man, I can imagine how hard it is. There's a lot of things I'm trying to do, and unfortunately I'm all alone as well. I wish for a team of like-minded people, but yeah, no dice so far. There are several guys who are willing to help me, but they're usually way too busy with their own stuff, and it's understandable once again. But all in all, I can understand the developer of SturmFront. So, yeah. As much as a pity it is to not having multiplayer in SturmFront, I do not blame the dev for putting it aside. And yeah, I've already pretty much got used to controls, and I think I understand the mechanics much more clearly now. I do not really need to spray the flamethrower, the whole can on one enemy spawn point. Just a small burst works nicely. So I guess it's about time to finish the first level and move on. I think I saw the exit somewhere up there. But man, it looks darn good. Just look at all these graphics. They're simplistic, but I think they look amazing, and that face of Siegfried in the lower left corner is just spot on, I think. It all looks great. Reminds me of all the old games I like a lot. Frank, listen, I need to confess something. We've always been brothers in arms, so I need to be honest with you now. I supported the party. I did. I believed in what they told us. But not anymore. There's no point to this goddamn war. Kids like you shouldn't be on the front. I don't recognize my fatherland anymore. My wife, my kids. They're all dead, you know. For a while, in fact. I thought I could make it up to them. Make a difference. Make their death worth something. Well, forget it. They'll get through the door by tomorrow. I won't surrender. We talked about this, remember? But I won't let them take me. I'm too old for that crap. You always knew this, didn't you, Frank? I hope you'll get over it. You're a good kid. Yeah, I find games like these beautiful. I don't know why we all but abandoned these kind of games and only solo developers or really small independent studios are doing this thing nowadays, because yeah, as amazing as 3D graphics are nowadays, as amazing as technologies are, these simple small games that weigh less than a gigabyte, I mean, this game is about like 200 megabytes, perhaps even less. I don't remember how big SturmFront is, but I believe it can be fit onto a floppy disk. And these games are amazing, really. You do not, you know, they always say nowadays that games are expensive and all that stuff. No, really, games are not expensive. Games are only as expensive as you want to make them, because you really can make good game without many money on hand. You can make a cheap game and it will be just as good or even better than a lot of expensive games. So all these studios which say games are expensive, no, they're only expensive because you are wishing to spend that much money on them. You wish to do mockups, you wish to do a lot of fancy graphics, you wish to hire a huge team of devs. It's all, yeah, it works, but everything I've mentioned, it is all secondary. The basic gameplay and the basic graphics, which are all that necessary to make a good game, plus some plot, they are cheap. And you do not need all those expensive eye candies in order to make a good game. Today is the day I will die. It's as good as any other day to kick the bucket. Might even be better this way. At least I get to take some of those bastards with me. Oh, poor Frank, he cried all night. I guess I was like a father to him. Kid lost his old man in the war too, but there's still hope for him. He can still turn his life around if he can only get out of this damn bunker. And I'm going to make sure he will. I've prepared my belt, 24 high explosive grenades. One hell of a lot. Soon I'm going to be with my family again. Gisela, Theodore. It's not long now. And young Frank will live. Good kid. Someone might mention that SturmFront is not long, and somebody might say that it takes money to make a long game, because SturmFront will only take about an evening or two from you. And well, a lot of games that look long are really not that long after all. Allow me to continue after I'll read this skull. I'll surrender to the first whoreson I see. I'll drop my weapon and raise my arms. They've done this a dozen times or more, they'll suspect nothing. Their guard will be low. I'm just an old man, nothing I could do. but they don't know what I got in store for them. When the time is right, I'll charge and pull the pins. If luck is on my side, I'm going to take out at least 12 of them, maybe even more. The explosion will have enough force to collapse the entryway and buy Frank enough time. I hope. We stayed brothers in arms until the very end. I am proud of him. So yeah, a lot of games that look long, they're really not that long because they utilize a lot of, call them unfair mechanics in order to make themselves longer. And what I call unfair mechanics are achievements, collectibles. They do not really make the game longer. Once again, a good example is the fact that SturmFront made all its concept art available from the very start, while many other games they utilize collectibles in order for the player to unlock concept art while playing the game. And while you unlock concept art, well, yes, you do, but it doesn't really add to the game itself. I hope you get what I mean. This old burial ground has existed since the days when man still erected great monoliths and battled with bronze and iron. The old gods who once judged the dead are silent now, having themselves joined their warriors on the Elysian plains. But a new god stirs amidst the rot and the maggots, a foul grotesquerie that needs no worshippers save for vermin and carrion eaters. She twists the laws that once governed the natural cycle. All life must die, and all death must live. Put an end to this perversion and terminate this monstrosity. I accept death. But she does not. She threefold fertility, her breast milk is heaven's nectar. She returns to life that which is dead, and returns to reason our lives gone astray. Surrender to her. Her first apostles were the maggots and the rats. They nursed the dead and carried them to her. She embraced them without judgment, and they sucked on her teats greedily like leeches, and in their rotten bodies once again coursed the worms of life. Surrender to her, for we are unworthy. So what I want to say is the fact that there are so few games that are truly long, and I mean, of course, the good example of a truly long game would be the Elder Scrolls series. I haven't played Skyrim. I didn't like the fact that they pretty much destroyed Morrowind lore-wise as well as the Empire, and I fought for Morrowind and Empire and in Morrowind and Oblivion, so I didn't like the fact that they've destroyed all the things I fought for, and I do not want to play Skyrim. But the fact is, the Skyrim is done in the same fashion as Daggerfall, as Morrowind, as Oblivion, and these games are truly long because you play them. They are truly long via the gameplay, via fair mechanics, without any collectibles, without any achievements. These are the games where you pretty much can spend your, months of your life. These are fairly long games, and now tell me, out of all expensive games, how much games are truly as long as Skyrim, as Oblivion, as Morrowind? How much games really are like $1 million long ones, without, with pure gameplay? They're long, purely gameplay long, without all those achievements, without all those collectibles, without all this stuff. I think not many games are truly, clearly long. I have been chosen to kneel before Her Majesty. Her servants unclothe my body and anoint me with the rotten sacraments. I shall be as a lamb to these butchers. Claws tear into my unworthy flesh, carving deep wounds. And I sing praise as the angels in heaven do unto their God. My ecstasy washing over the pain like an avalanche of numbing snow. I am bled out like a pig, but I feel no agony or sense of loss. I am ready, Mother. Grant me the milk of life. So yeah, my opinion is the games are not expensive. It's just the companies that make the games expensive. And solo devs and indie companies then can make good game without having lots of money. They truly can. I think the real games are in the independent markets. And well, it's a well-known fact. So yeah, in the AAA market, there are services nowadays, not games. I rise from the land of the dead. The threshold between worlds is a barrier no more. A mask shall adorn my flayed visage, a symbol of beauty and life preserved for eternity. Tonight I shall join my deathless brothers and sisters on their hunt. Tonight we take prisoners. We will bring them here and we will allow them to partake of our bliss. Such good fortune craves to be shared. And well, what can I say? Perhaps services are rightfully expensive. I know nothing about services. I do not like services. I like games. I like gameplay. So yeah. And games are not expensive. Do not tell me this no more, Mr. Moneymaker. I know this for a fact. Good games are not expensive. Not expensive at all. The mask is everything. Everything. It's our shield, our guardian. It protects life and honor, and it gives purpose. I cannot be without it. Should I ever lose it, do not hesitate. Take my life, blind me, tear out my tongue, and rip apart my flesh. Give me the most painful death imaginable. My existence is meaningless without the mask. It gave me a new life, and so I lay down my life for it. Games as a service is a bane of the gaming industry. It's just like the movies, you know. We've pretty much lost the good movies as well. At least Hollywood hardly ever makes good movies anymore. Somehow, yeah, I believe I've already told this, but well, my videos do not get much views, so perhaps I can repeat myself. Yeah. So what I want to say is we've kind of lost an aspect of art in games and movies and pretty much everywhere else. Music as well, yeah. Somehow it is all aimed at making money, and it is simply painful. Well, this is why you can pretty much there's why there are pretty much no AAA games on my channel. There are only games like SturmFront and other indie titles like Starcrawlers, or some really old games from the time where I feel where the art from the time when I feel the art was still there in the games. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. And it is really hard for me to play new games, but I'm not saying that all of them are bad, top to bottom. There are good moments here and there, because people are people, and in the entire team of devs, no matter what the management wants, there are creative people who obviously want to make an enjoyable game, so from time to time it works. Even though not for a full game, but at least partially. Memories and nostalgia flood my perception with mirages that distract and deceive. I must not let these phantoms overcome me and divert my attention from what truly matters. But it is so difficult. I wish I could tear these pictures from my brain with my bare hands and crush them beneath my feet. That face. I keep seeing that face, that beautiful angelic face. How she coyly smiled at me in the restaurant when our eyes met. I smiled back. Disgusting! Nobody sees my smile anymore! There is only the mask! The mask! Yeah, I feel back in the days making a good game was a priority, and nowadays making money is a priority. Maybe it's just nostalgia, maybe I just fantasize about stuff, but I can feel a shift, you know? There is a huge shift in the game dev. It's undeniable. It's not only nostalgia. Maybe I'm just wrong in the reasons why the games feel so different nowadays. But the fact that they do feel very different nowadays is simply undeniable. So yeah, I don't know. It's like that, and that's the way it is. Can't escape them. I'm a prisoner in my own mind. The visions won't go away. Why is the mask not saving me? Why does it not expunge these ghosts from existence? I miss her so very much. I hate everything. I hate how thoughts of her smell, her hair, her worms blind me even now, push knives into my heart. But there's no blood left in it to shed, so it just hurts like heaving on an empty stomach. But there's a ray of light. I remember not only the good times, oh no! I remember abandoning our child to the nurseries. Who has the time for raising a kid these days, huh? Nobody. Who isn't paid for it is what. And let's not forget the war! God, I love the war. Without it, I never would have found the mask. I am wed only to it now. We're one. Oh, sweet mask of mine. I don't know, perhaps I'm simply getting too romantic, but, you know, there is a thought in my head. Just give me a minute to put it all together and I'll spill it out. The war raged like a stormy sea, high tide, low tide, all awash with blood. A red knight rides at our side by day and night, and his voice is the sound of battle and death. With flaming hooves he takes life after life, insatiable and unrelenting. I envy his bloodlust. My comrades die miserably in the ditches, in pools of blood, pools of piss, in clouds of gas, in pillars of flame. I envy their glory. We have opened the gates of Sheol, and they cannot be closed. I will face the wrath of God with pride, for I am invincible. Forever mask, and the mask wears me. I must place all trust in the mask now, for I cannot trust myself. Every face I see is hers. Every voice I hear is a child's cry. The world has gone insane. I shall be as a lighthouse in the storm. I shall! So the thought is in my head is, you know, the fact that I think we are live in the awful time where people do not have a dream. The book I read, it was about the Soviet government and about life in Soviet Union in general and about government in particular. So there was this phrase which I really liked, is the fact that people that were in power in Soviet Union, yeah, they've made mistakes, they were wrong in a lot of places, but at least people that were in power back in those days, they've had a dream. And the people who are in power nowadays, they do not have a dream. They are as wrong as the people that were before them, but they do not even have a dream. They have nothing they would like to fight for. They have nothing they would love to strive to. Something like that. I hope I've translated it correctly enough for you to understand. When progress devoured the last jungle on Earth, nostalgia demanded a surrogate. Soulless, oppressive and unwholesome, they are a mockery of nature. They were intended as resplendent galleries exhibiting nature's diversity, but have instead become sad obituaries of treasures lost to us forever. Not even the decadent Lost Gardens and the sadistic Pain games could entirely erase the profound sense of loss that pervades these melancholic groves. Show this rotting corpse a final mercy and reduce it to cinders. Everybody's rounded up, Sarge, but, well, we can't do this, right? It's not human. Right, Sarge? We have our orders, Cadet. Master recommended disciplinary punishment for you. Sir, they are unarmed, helpless. This is war, Cadet. Pull the trigger or I will. Good God. Muerta. Okay, I really like the voice acting in this game. Perhaps this is why I've decided to try my hand at voice acting as well. But well, back on topic is, yeah, I feel that this thing that the people do not have a dream nowadays can apply not only to the government, but to the regular people as well. I feel like people of today do not have a dream. I mean, take a look at the movies they've made back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. There were movies about space in the 50s, for example. I mean, of course, there were many movies, there were propaganda movies and stuff, but the ones that are, how do they call it? You know, fair, not fair, but the movies that come, something that comes from your heart, you know, which is honest, yeah. The honest movies of the 50s, they were about space, about planets that we are about to discover as humanity. There were movies about unity. In the middle of Cold War, there was a movie like The Russians Are Coming, a comedy about unity, about the fact that we are all people. And I feel like the people of the 50s, they've had dreams. They've dreamed about unity, they've dreamed about brighter future, about communism, about capitalism, about the day when we all be united, about space, about distant planets, about stars. It was all beautiful, it was a dream, science fiction, cyberpunk. It was all there. In which order, sir? Men first, then women, then children. A shot to the neck is the most efficient application of ammunition. We'll need the bullets later. It's genocide. We're butchering the populace. It's a war crime. Our directive: search and destroy. No exceptions. Which part of this did you not understand? Even in horrors and thrillers, I feel like I could see a dreamer behind the camera, a dreamer in actors who played in these movies, in those, yes. And look at the heroes from 80s. They were simply guys with guns who did their job. Yes, they've suffered a lot, but they were people aspiring to be something more, something else. They were people aspiring to be a hero. And I feel like it is all lost nowadays. Just look at it. In my youth, I learned how to be a human being, how to function in a society, how to obey laws, how to live and let live, how to share, how to befriend, how to feel empathy. All for naught. The weak will always bleed for the strong. The only law is despotism. Darwin was right. Life is a horrible cycle of violence. We truly have fallen from Eden. Never shall we taste its light again, this I know. You're a big old blubbermouth, you know that, Heinrich? Stop thinking so much. They say shoot, you shoot. Not so hard if you shut off your brain. If we win this war in the end, I'm sure it will all pay off. I mean, instead of dreams of space, we have Elon Musk in his Tesla. Luckily in 2021, his 5 minutes of fame seem to be over, and I think people now understand who Elon Musk is, really is. And he's not a dreamer, he's a businessman. Aside from Elon Musk, we have Jeff Bezos flying in orbit just because he can. This hardly can be called the dreams of space came true. Can't wash it off. Can't wash it off. Can't wash it off, Godhard. It won't come off. What the fuck do I do? Leave it. What's the point? Tomorrow it'll be bloody again anyway. Look around yourself. You see all those corpses, all that blood? I can't smell anything else. Is this all there is to it? Are we just butchers in the slaughterhouse? All we do is kill, kill, kill until we are killed ourselves. There is only senseless killing until the human resource has been exhausted. Why all of this? Why do this? Said it yourself, but the weak eat the strong. Out here is the jungle and we're the tiger right now. Tiger in a cage, more like. We're just puppets to their light. Look at all this firepower we have here. We should be able to turn that around at our masters. Let them bleed for our sake. Alright, another skull. Now let's read it first and then I'll continue. I don't know why I didn't resign right then and there. There's no appreciation for the sciences anymore. I am made a laughing stock. During my studies, I imagined I'd be traveling to distant oases of forlorn ruins to discover hitherto unknown civilizations. And instead, I'm sent to a modern ruin, its abandonment dating about 3 months. What's the point? What could I possibly learn that we don't already know? Why these people packed up and left, or why they disappeared? Well, it's these bloody weeds, what else? This is so pointless. I think tomorrow I'll send in my resignation. Oh, so what can I say? And, yeah, continue on with my idea is the fact that modern superhero movies are hardly the heroic movies of the 80s and 90s, heroic action movies of those days. They were bloody, gritty, but they were truthful. People died in there, but it was all honest, it was all truth. I mean, as honest as it can get. I mean, at least those heroes were humans, you know? Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. You looked at them and you saw human beings, like you and me. And nowadays, there are superheroes and it's all very, very different with them. I've been trapped in this greenhouse for weeks now. It is a tomb, Bible considers much. Who knows what these people died from? I'm an archaeologist and not a detective. Maybe they ate something poisonous, maybe they tore out each other's throats. Maybe a feral animal got in. The bodies are too badly in shape to tell. All overgrown with fungi and strange whiny weeds. Repulsive. Now that I think of it though, strange things seem to grow not only on the bodies but in all the moist corners of this decaying entertainment complex. Not just plants either, but snails. Tiny snails whose likeness I have never seen before. Piles of them, in fact. All heaped up like some sort of mound, slithering above and beneath one another in one slimy ball of gooey meat. Ah, I want to retch just thinking about it. I must leave. Now! If I don't get out of here soon, I'll lose my mind, goddammit! What I want to say is that when you watch those superhero movies, it's okay for it to be a fiction, yeah, a fairy tale, but for some reason I feel that deep in your heart you understand that you will never be like those guys no matter how hard you try. Superhero movies are too otherworldly. Why won't they answer? Why, oh god, why won't anyone answer? I want out! Please let me out! I can't take it, I can't! For the love of Christ, just look at these damn snails! I can't even call them that! They develop ever more grotesque shapes on a daily basis! Or maybe monthly. Who knows how long I've been in here now? But still, those creatures are no snails, of that I'm certain. There's something worse. When I woke up this morning, I felt something slimy on my arm. It was a wet, leathery thing with flesh as soft as a rotten apple and a curving shell whose pattern still makes me dizzy. I screamed, tore the thing off of me and crushed it beneath my boot. I stepped on it 100 times and I could not stop screaming. Yet when I looked at the remains, they were still squirming. I staggered out of the ruin into the fresh air and puked. There were snails inside my puke. I looked closely. I made sure there was no mistake. Everything itches. God help me. But the main problem is, of course, the quantity. Not the fact that the superhero movies exist, but the fact that there are too many superhero movies and too few movies like John Wick nowadays. And therefore, there is too much content that exists simply for the sake of entertainment and not enough art to fill humans with dreams, with purpose, with something to aspire for. To top it off, the good movies nowadays are the ones like the Korean Parasites. Now, I do not want to tell that Parasites is a bad movie. In fact, it is a great movie, awesome movie. But it is hardly a movie with a dream. It's more like a tombstone for humanity, for the modern world. That's a good movie, but it is hardly kind of movie that can fill one's soul and mind with hope. No one's coming here. I won't allow it. This place does not belong to humans, but to the invertebrate. Science has no place here. Reason has no place here. I put it all aside. And why not? Who will blame me? Humans don't exist in this world, but snails do. And they speak to me. I can hear them whisper to me even when I eat them. They talk from inside of me as they crawl underneath my skin. They dream up magnificent sculptures of flesh, grandiose creations of the highest art. And they want my warmth to bear them. And being snail isn't so bad. I never really needed my arms or legs that much. And the mucus is nice and warm. I don't have to do anything at all. They bring me food, clean me on the outside and the inside. I live like a princess. I cannot wait to welcome my children into this brave new world. And yeah, so we are kinda caught in this dreamless state. where money decide everything. I feel like it's all too real nowadays. There's a thing I've kinda thought about a little, like several years ago. Alright, not a little time ago, but several years ago. But there was such a term I thought about, I fancied it in my mind, and I think it is a great term to describe our current reality, and I call it reality punk. Not cyberpunk, not steampunk, it's reality punk. Everything is too real, devoid of a dream. And it is so clear that money decide everything. It is so clear that we won't see planets, distant planets and distant universes for a long time. It is so clear that unity is but a dream. It is all so real. There are no superheroes. It is all way too real, and it is a problem. The great human manufactory from which the new state's numberless legions emerged. It is a vast complex of unspeakable machinery conceived of in a manic, fevered dream. It was supposed to be a solution for all this flesh that defied death. Instead, we placed upon the world a factory that belched out a living, hungering cancer. Something inside the flesh twisted our assemblymen into something other than human and drove them mad. The mutants could not be controlled and ran wild, rebelling against their creators as Satan once did in heaven. But it was not a fault in the manufactory that caused this catastrophe, it only accelerated it. Our doom was written in the hidden stars that the naked eye cannot see. I don't understand any of this. The world is at peace and yet we are developing new weapons of war? Is our peace truly this fragile? I never would have thought. In 1956 we discovered the Flash, the mortal remains of the alien invaders who tried and failed to take our world. It appeared to be alive, not dead, against the odds. Their conscious will and their bodies seemed to be disconnected. When one dies, the other can live on. Thus their flesh continued to live. The flesh was malleable. It responded to stimuli and could be manipulated and commanded, like a dog or a servant. But control of the flesh is a privilege reserved for the few. To top it off, I want to say that SturmFront is, even though it looks like 80s, it is perhaps one of those hopeless, dreamless games where, you know, everything is lost for humanity, so it is one of modern games, I'd say. Or if you want to put it, grim dark games. But once again, the problem is, back in the days, the art like this was more like an exception. And it is still cool, it is still bright, it is still, like, I don't know, muscular, manly, I don't know, clear, something like that. It is still something that can inspire you through pure visuals. And, well, nowadays art like this is the dominant one. And the games that have a dream, they are more like an exception. And back in the days it was kinda different. The Flash reacts to minds, creative minds. It is an instrument for artists, a canvas for the organic painter. But suppose it gained some degree of sentience. What would happen? What would happen if it became aware of its situation and became so infatuated with itself as I have? Why, it would become uncontrollable. It would proliferate wildly beyond reason, like cancer. The risk is too high. I can't let this happen, even if it means betraying the fatherland. Or perhaps after all you should just disregard all the stuff I'm saying and I'm just already old enough for nostalgia to take over me completely. I mean, no, you know, after all, I feel there is a reason in my words. There is a reason in my words. It's so hard for me to express myself, especially with talking, especially when I'm talking on English, but I feel like there is a reason in it, somewhere. Perhaps I will be lucky and you will find more reason in my words than I myself see right now. I can only hope it will be like this, and well, I truly hope so, yes, because I want for you to see the reason in my words. I want you to feel what I feel. Perhaps it is a selfish thought, because I really feel sad about it, I don't feel good about it, but from the other point of view, I really want someone to feel like me, just so I would know that I'm not alone in my thoughts. Yeah, I guess after all it is selfish, but we are humans, we are pretty darn selfish. So yeah, I want you to feel what I feel, even for a moment. I want to feel that I'm not alone, despite the fact that these thoughts will probably make you feel sad. I'm sorry for that, but yes, after all, that's what I'm doing right now. So, yes, let's just find that third skull and move on to the next level. There is the ball. Some more enemies. Yeah, and I've thought I already reach the skull, but no. Some more spawn points. Some more bugs to kill. The assemblymen, the corrupted ones, of course. Oh boy. I was pretty much sure that I finished the level. But no, they just refuse to die. Refuse to end. Their numbers are truly limitless, huh? Yeah, there where you come from. It's too late. I was too late. Nobody would listen. It's as if they were forced to ignore me, even my best colleagues with whom I had shared so much. I felt like a stranger in a strange land. Today, the population is mobilizing. Our first assemblyman legions are marching and the truce will be broken. We are all doomed. The world is done for. I tried to sabotage the assembly line, but the biological agent I introduced into the flesh seemed to do nothing to stop it. I'm sure my interference has been discovered. It's only a matter of time until they take me. If I had a gun, I'd shoot myself now, but alas, I will be taken and I will die a traitor. Oh, Fatherland, what has happened to you? Oh, Fatherland, may you go to hell for this! And yeah, when I've said that their numbers are limitless, it was not even a joke. In fact, in this game, enemies spawn endlessly until you seal the entrance, seal the spawn point with an explosion or a flamethrower. Now, this is a level which was very hard for me, and I've actually devised a plan how I should walk through it. I believe I even drawn a map somewhere when I was walking through this level, and finally it worked after many tries. I believe I've spent about an hour and a half on this level alone. So yeah, even though SturmFront only takes an evening or two of your time, some levels in it are exceptionally hard. Or at least I found them so, because, yeah, after all, I am not that good with bullet hell games. And this game is definitely has a little bit of bullet hell in it. Yeah, on this map I've had to remember where weapons spawn, where enemies are set to spawn. Yeah, I've pretty much had to memorize this map completely and figure out how I should go through it step by step. Alright. Now I need to finish the lower part of the map and it will be done, but first let me grab that power up and a fresh can of gasoline from here. Yeah, right. Alright, let's go down. Just pretty much one corridor and one room left, but these are gonna be the hard ones. Alright, here it comes. Oh boy. Flamethrower, it doesn't quite help me. But alright. Now I have to kill those spiders. Till the spawn point, alright. Good enough. Yeah. Whew. That was quite darn hard. And now I will use this blade on a boss. This blade weapon is an overkill. I will went through the boss like knife through the butter. So if you have troubles with boss fights, save a blade and it will carry you through the boss fight without trouble. But now, before we will go to the boss, let's pick up the skulls. Convicted! What a joke! Not for treason, nothing of the sort. I've been a loyal supporter of the party and a competent leader of my department. Sodomy they call it, as if referencing the Bible gave them some sort of moral high ground. Nonsense. Is it unnatural if it comes from the heart? I've always felt a good desire, but never have I loved someone out of the laboratory. I don't regret it. Everybody is quick to point fingers, to speak behind each other's backs, to accuse and to blame. You all denounce love amongst equals, but did you not know that this was seen as the purest of loves amongst the ancient Greeks, the founders of our societal basis? This rotten organization suppresses everything human, turns our most human passions taboo. Why else would so many fall into dishonor? Why else would so many be sent off to God knows where in those trains? Where is the scene, I ask? I always served the fatherland. I am not ignorant nor stupid. Do you think I don't know what a double standard is? Everyone knows what happens in your castles and manors. Your purgation troops celebrate their massacres with wild abandon, with godless orgies. That's more than mere camaraderie, and you all know it. Hypocrites! I can only hope that we meet again in hell, for if my life is sinful, then yours are doubly so. All of your false morality, your decadence, your ingratitude, all of it sickens me. Your society sickens me. Only fire can save this civilization. It's no consolation, but at least I'm not alone now in my final moments. There are 48 of us and we are all equally nude and vulnerable. All of us promised to the afterlife. Gas is pumped into the chamber, panic erupts. The bulky start throwing punches about themselves. The meek are pushed to the ground. I am one of them. The gas, heavy as it is, seeps downwards and forms a deadly blanket that keeps rising up like water or sand. It is no gentle death, no calm falling asleep. The gas chokes you out from the inside, but you remain conscious all the way through it. In the end, there is a great pyramid made from human bodies. I am part of its foundation, while the strongest among us has the dubious privilege of dying last. Alright now, let's rock! So, of course, the boss of the level is shaped like a penis. I don't know why, but art like this, it is so rare nowadays. It is so darn rare, even though we live in the age where porn is abundant, yet still, this kind of artwork is a rarity. You share much with the mutant. Both of you exist only to destroy. And yet each is antithesis to the other, two forces forever destined to wage war. You have learned much about the mutant. You now know that there is method to the corruption and the growth. The flesh is stupid and chaotic, but there is a malign intelligence deep within it, subtly guiding it like the very hand of fate. Today that will has found you too. Let the world descend upon you, let it embrace you, and fill your head with gentle dreams of the apocalypse. Then shut your eyes and ears and fire! Cleanse that disease from the inside out, once and for all! Alright, pardon me for this mistake, but somehow on our first playthrough, me and my friend, we missed these very last two skulls, so I'm editing them into this playthrough from another playthrough just to have all the skulls in one video. So yeah, pardon me for this small mistake. A traveling palace deep beneath the soil, a home to the disease, an avatar of its slain gods. Blind and aimless, it coils and winds unending, always yearning for the lullaby of its empress that never comes. Thus it winds unheard in the dark depths as it undermines humanity and fills the mutants with dreams of purpose. The worm is a fortress and a cradle. It shields the divine heiress, the will of an empress reborn in loyal flesh. Still an embryo, the heavenly daughter waits and grows patiently within her organic palace, nurturing the budding spirit inside of her. When the whole world has been consumed by the cancer, it shall be absorbed into her and complete her embryonic existence. On that day, the very stars will tremble with fear, and the cosmos will weep with great agony. The flesh and the spirit can indeed exist apart, but when alone they will always passionately yearn for the other. Indeed, so long as one of the two lives, the other may be brought back from the abyss. Only the complete annihilation of both can free the galaxy from the astral tyrant's yoke of domination. And yeah, as I've said, as I've mentioned, I don't really play alone, even though there is no multiplayer. I still play with a friend, we just play one level each, level by level. As the old saying goes, who said that the single player games are really single player? As long as you have a friend nearby, you can always make it a multiplayer game. It's fun enough, and besides, he's much better than me in bullet hell games, so perhaps if I was playing truly alone, it would take me much longer. Also, this is pretty much the second level to last. We only have to reach the end of this chamber and there will be the final boss. I hope you enjoyed it, because I surely enjoyed it, and I hope my commentary didn't offend your ears as well as my voice acting. I've tried my best, but after all, I'm not a voice actor, unfortunately. So yeah, pardon me, but I just felt that I should do it. I don't know why, perhaps I just liked the game. I mean, yeah, I just really liked the story, all the thought that the developer put into it, and I felt like I could give it my best shot, like I have to give it my best shot to make something of my own to add to the overall feeling of it. Even though yeah, I think it turned out kind of bad. But, well, as I've said, I've tried. Alright, so, how much of the worm is left? I'm not sure, perhaps... Oh, there are walls already, so at least a half is behind, if not all of it. I do not quite remember, but... Is it? Yeah, there's a teleport. This is the last chamber. Alright, let's go for the boss then. Here I come, heretics. Oh yeah. These heads are really darn... How to say it? Bulletproof? I'm not sure. Really darn, once again, I haven't spoke English for a long time and forgot all the right words. Oh, sturdy. Yeah, sturdy perhaps is the word. These heads are really darn sturdy. It takes quite some time to kill them with the machine gun. But they are not unkillable. If we'll just keep on shooting, they will eventually die, and it is very useful to kill them because, as you can see, they spawn health packs. Health packs and a lot of gas. But alright. Let's just kill them all and move on to the boss. Only 6 of them left. Come on, die already. Ugly bastards. Oh, not even 6, just 4 of them left. Alright. That's all the better for me. And... out you go. Yeah. Alright, let's go for the final boss. Here I come. Here I come. Yeah, let's do this! Oh, damn it. Yeah, we have to get rid of these heads. Oh, power up! Oh, I completely forgot that they spawn power-ups as well. The power-up is the thing I truly do not need now. Health pack. Now, alright, that's better. And pretty much that's it. Yeah, as my friend noted, the bosses in this game are kinda really darn not impressive. They only have 2 or 3 patterns and they are all pretty predictable and easy to dodge. Final boss is not an exception, as you can see. Yeah, well, he has a bit more patterns than just 3, but still they're kinda easy. Especially since we have a flamethrower that can turn bullets in the gems. Yeah, I've lost 2 lives, but I could do it better if I really wanted to. And especially if I tried harder on the previous level and brought mortar into this final chamber. The war seems over, but where are those who are responsible for that massacre?
All mutants exterminated. You are a superior killing machine.
Death and destruction lie in Siegfried's wake. Even in his darkest moments, sheer hatred persevered when flesh and steel began to falter. But this inferno cannot be smothered. Siegfried's very existence is poised on the perpetuation of war and violence. And so he marches on, against no one, against the world, battle for battle's sake. Ever onwards, the eternal soldier. So, this is the end of it. Thanks for being with me, cats. Hope you liked it. Stay tuned for more. Good luck!